What's up guys, my name is Ace, and we're just a couple days away from the Season 4 Reloaded update in Black Ops 7, and today I'm going to be diving into all of the content and information we know about the multiplayer side of things for this update. Keeping in mind we don't have the patch notes yet, so we're not covering fixes and changes in this video, mainly just the content we can expect to see. And that includes some very interesting news about the Classic mode in this game. And diving right in, let's start this off with our multiplayer maps. The first one is Zenith. This is going to be a face-off style map, so 6v6 or 2v2. And unfortunately, in this blog post, we didn't get the overhead view like we would normally expect to see shortly before the launch of the maps. But I mean, it's a pretty small map. You can kind of already see the general layout just from these images here. Whereas for the other map we're going to be getting, we already know the layout of this one because it's Launch from Black Ops 1. And as far as we can tell, it's exactly the same as Launch from Black Ops 1, although the lighting is very different here. It's more of a super bright sunny day, not quite as moody as the original Black Ops version. And I am very curious to see how this plays out with the wall jumps, especially in that lower launch area. If you're able to wall jump your way up and out of there, I think that has the potential to really change the dynamics around that area of the map. In either case, those are the two maps we're getting for the Reloaded updates. Next, let's talk about multiplayer modes, and the first one is a returning mode, which is Team Blueprint Sharpshooter, and that's where everybody is assigned the same weapon, and every 45 seconds, that weapon will rotate. And then on top of that, as you go on a streak, you're going to be gaining extra power on that streak, like faster movement speed, reload, sprint recovery, and aim down sight speed. Now, additionally for modes for the second half of this season, we've got Knife Fight, which is another returning mode, and that is going to be a melee-only mode. And then finally, and most importantly here, they confirmed that Black Ops Classic, that mode that they brought at the beginning of Season 4 that has apparently been quite popular, I've been playing it quite a bit myself, they have confirmed that they are keeping this permanent in Black Ops 7, and that is excellent news. I'm really happy to see that. I know this mode has been quite popular, at least online, but I wasn't sure if that popularity was really translating to overall player numbers, and it must be. If they're planning on keeping this permanent, it must have the numbers to back that up, and I'm not really surprised to see that as well, because every time I play this, I'm finding games very quickly. And another good thing about this is there were a lot of people that were really excited about this mode, even if they didn't own Black Ops 7. And I saw quite a few comments with people saying they will literally buy Black Ops 7 if they knew it was a permanent edition and not something that was just going to go away. And now we have that confirmation. This will be permanent. So if you are one of those people, I would still probably wait for a sale for Black Ops 7. I don't know if I'd pay full price for the game at this point in its life cycle. But if you like Classic COD and you can get this on sale, I definitely recommend trying it out. It genuinely feels very good and quite comparable to how the older CODs played. It's obviously not one-to-one, but it definitely gives very similar vibes with its significantly toned down movement and all of the other adjustments they made there. Now, on top of that for the Classic mode, we got some more information, and that is, starting with Season 4 Reloaded, they're expanding the map pool to include Launch, of course, but then on top of that, they're also including Fringe, Hacienda, and Gridlock. Which is interesting that they're bringing those maps because this Classic mode was really designed to emulate Black Ops 2's movement and feel. And up until this point, it's been essentially all Black Ops 2 maps. I know Firing Range is in there. We did have a variant of Firing Range in Black Ops 2 though. Either way, it's been really focused around that Black Ops 2 feel. But now we're getting Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 maps mixed into the equation there. And I'm just very curious to see how that's going to feel and play out with those maps in rotation. And I'm actually quite torn on this. On one hand, I love the fact that Classic so far has been very Black Ops 2 vibes without really deviating from that. And so bringing these maps into rotation, I think that's going to change things a fair amount when it comes to that Black Ops 2 vibe, obviously. And then also, especially with a map like Fringe, that was designed for a jetpack Call of Duty, so I don't know how that's going to play out with this Classic style of movement, for instance. But on the other hand, I've also been curious while playing the Classic mode how many of these other maps would end up playing out with this Classic style movement. In fact, I'd even be curious to see what the brand new Black Ops 7 maps play like with that Classic vibe. But I also don't want to completely lose that Black Ops 2 feel. So it's almost like I would like to see Classic branch in two different directions where they have pure Classic, where it's just the Black Ops 2 maps, and then a variant of Classic where you get to play the full map pool of Black Ops 7. Or at least almost a full map pool. Maybe they'd have to remove a few of them because maybe they rely a bit too heavily on wall jumps, for instance. And I know that's probably an unrealistic thing to actually ask for. It's just something that's crossed my mind while playing is I wonder how this would play with the modern maps. But those are just kind of my torn thoughts on that. At the end of the day, I'm curious to see how this movement integrates with Fringe, Hacienda, and Gridlock. And I'm very happy to see that they've confirmed that it will be a permanent part of Black Ops 7 going forward. Now, with that out of the way, let's move on to the weapons and also the conversion kits that are going to be coming for the second half of this season. And the first one here is the new melee weapon. This is Executioner's Duet. And these are dual wield axes. It's going to be coming right at the launch of Season 4 as part of the event that we'll get into in just a little bit. And they describe this as a high damage, short range, but fast attack speed melee weapon. And I'll definitely be diving in and sharing the stats of that whenever I get around to it. It's not going to be a very high priority item since melee weapons are generally not quite as sought after as the ranged weapons. So let's get into the ranged weapon we're getting right at the beginning of the Reloaded updates. And this is finally the AN94. Now this is also going to be unlocked via the same event that the axes are unlocked. And of course, with the AN94, we have that 2-round hyper burst when you first pull the trigger, and then it slows down to a slower rate of fire for the rest of your rounds fired as you hold down the trigger. And also with that hyper burst, those first 2 shots should be very, very accurate. And while we knew the AN94 was coming, we didn't have the details on its prestige attachment, which is the triumvirate barrel. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, but with this, it's a modified barrel that increases the hyper burst shot count from 2 up to 3. And it's going to be increasing your damage to the upper body. As for an apparent downside, according to this description, it looks like they're adding a bit more of a delay after your hyperburst before you just get into your standard full auto fire rate. And then they also say it's going to increase your recoil. And so that does sound quite interesting. I'm also curious to see if we can swap this over to a burst mode instead of semi-auto like you would with most of the full autos in the game. And if that is also going to be carrying over if you're using this barrel to a 3-round burst rather than a 2-round burst without the barrel. I suspect that'll be the case, and I hope it will be. Either way, I'm really looking forward to the AN94 returning. I've always enjoyed this style of gun in Call of Duty, regardless of the game that it's been in. But then after that, getting into some more of the unique attachments we're getting, all of these are going to be coming as weekly challenge rewards. We've got the XR3 Ion's Vulcan minigun, and its description says, maximize control with this side-mounted foregrip that provides a focused hipfire with reduced spread and improved aiming movement speed, and it will block your optic attachments. So it will no longer be performing like a sniper rifle, and more so like an LMG with the crossfire attachment on it. And I'm guessing it's going to have quite a fast fire rate as well. Then after that, for another one of our weekly challenge rewards, we're going to be getting the dual fire kit for the DS20 Mirage. And with this, it mentions it replaces your ability to aim down sight with high-powered slug rounds, and it greatly improves hipfire accuracy at a small cost to mobility, and this will also block your optic attachments. I mean, you can't aim down sight anyway, so what would be the point? And I feel like there's a lot of information left out there, so definitely looking forward to getting my hands on it and testing it out to see what it actually looks and feels like in-game. And then finally, for another weekly challenge reward, we've got the Velox 57's Carbine Chassis. And with this, it's a pistol chassis that converts the Velox into full auto, and it gives improved range capabilities at the expense of baseline handling. And then on top of that, it will unlock underbarrel and stock customization options. So effectively turning this into a pocket SMG, which is interesting. I'm curious to see how they differentiate this from just the standard Coda 9 full auto pistol and its conversion where it's basically a pocket SMG. I'm hoping there are enough differences there that this feels truly unique and something like a brand new addition and not just a slightly different variant of the Coda 9. And that pretty much covers it for the weekly challenge rewards that they've stated here for the rest of the season. Now finally, let's get into the events we can expect to see. And the first one is the one that's launching with the Reloaded update, so in just 2 days on June 25th. And this is the Nick Cage event, which is interesting. Usually the collaborations are with some form of media, but this time it's just with a specific actor. And with this one, it's one of those event pass ones where you've got the free track where you don't have to spend any money on that. And then you've got the premium track with additional cosmetic rewards if you want them. So if you want to use Nick Cage, you do have to spend to get the premium track. But in the free track, this is where we're getting Executioner's Duet, the new melee weapon, as well as the AN94. And unfortunately, this one is just going to be an XP milestone event, so you just progress your way through by earning XP in the game. There's no unique challenges or anything along those lines. Just play the game, you'll get your items. And then another event they announced that's available for the standard multiplayer at least is the Summer of Action event, and this one is a daily login event. So you just log in every day to get another one of the rewards for this event. And it looks like all of the rewards here are just like tier skips, weapon blueprints, and double XP tokens, so just pure cosmetics in this one. And there we go. That is going to wrap it up for what we can expect to see for the Season 4 Reloaded updates and beyond until the end of Season 4. As I said, we're still waiting on the patch notes to see what kind of weapon balancing we're going to see, if any, as well as any other changes or fixes to other aspects of the game. And I'm just curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about all of this, especially the classic mode becoming permanent? I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on that. And if you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.